Series 5. The mysterious violinist Marion is free. Copyright. Independently published the 6th of August 2025. Author. Dr. Sheree E. Love PhD. Table of Content. 1. Episode 13 Marion is free. 2. Episode 14 Surprise Wedding. Episode 13. Marion is free. Sebastian opened the door to his private suite, pulling his scheduled breakfast cart inside. After getting out of the shower, his breakfast was still at a hot temperature ready for him to eat. French toast with tomatoes and 4 eggs whites with a glass of milk. Reading the local newspaper after he finished his breakfast, Sebastian was ready, leaving for the drop-off. Ezra Bed and Breakfast, located in Franklin on Mountain Drive in North Carolina, is a 17-minute drive to Nantahala National Forest. Sebastian wanted a car with some speed and had rented a Lamborghini Huracan Technica Coupe RWD. Wearing slim-fit active men's hiking pants bent lightweight, and a no-free sun hoodie with up 30+ featherweight sun protection along with non-slip lightweight hiking shoes. After getting in the Lamborghini, Sebastian double-checked his black waist bag, looking at a pair of HD night and day vision wraparound sunglasses, black gloves, a fire starter, and one of the important reasons for the drop-off, the rhodolite, then closing it. In the back seat he had placed a cooler with cheese, crackers, Slim Jims and jerky, 2 cold packs to keep 6 drinks cold, along with a first aid kit. Pulling off, Sebastian is being watched by the Detective Spencer in Miami and the other investigators on his phone's GPS. One investigator is watching the local towers for signals. Keeping pedestrian traffic down, 2 detectives were watching the tower signals near the Garnet Bed and Breakfast boathouse. Using their computers, one detective sent an email to Detective Spencer informing him of the other family members who are now at the Garnet Bed and Breakfast boathouse. Sebastian will not be making any phone calls until Marion is with him. Sebastian pulled into a parking area at the Nantahala National Forest that is near a path leading into the forest, so there would not be any attention drawn to his vehicle. Before getting out of the Lamborghini, Sebastian read the instructions he had wrote down, given to him by the caller holding Marion. Exiting the Lamborghini, Sebastian started his walk into the forest. After a 20-foot walk, he was now being watched by Lynette, who was already in position for the pickup. Using Rapid Radio's nationwide PDT walkie-talkies, Lynette is able to stay in communication with one of her partners, who is her standby, parked in a camper truck designed for comfort and convenience while camping. While she is out in the Nantahala National Forest, her other partners will be on another channel for Lynette's standby to communicate with. Sebastian has reached the drop-off point and looked closely at the leaves, pushing them aside and opening a mechanism that looks like wood with a lid on it, placing the rhodolite inside, and covers it back up with the leaves. Standing for a few seconds as he is being watched by Lynette, then walking away without looking back, Sebastian is on his way back to his Lamborghini. When Sebastian walked a certain distance, the mechanism was activated and the rhodolite is on its way to Lynette. And she is keeping an eye on its movement. Sebastian is not yet at the Lamborghini and Lynette already has the rhodolite and is clearing out the mechanism. It would be undetectable if someone was to return to try and figure it out. Sebastian entered the Lamborghini, still waiting for a call. not knowing if it's just too soon or not, driving out and heading back to the Ezra bed and breakfast to wait for a call. Lynette returned to the camper truck where her standby has been waiting for her. He drives off without questioning Lynette, thinking to himself, Mission 1 is complete, having a feeling that things are going to get done without any problems. Then Lynette gets on the channel telling her other partners to move out, removing Marion, putting her in a camper truck, with head covered and hands tied behind her. They were dropping Marion off. In the back of the Ezra bed and breakfast there is a shed that is often used when visitors stay there. Pulling up Marion would have to do a little walking with two of Lynette's partners, so that they are not seen, reminding Marion not to say a word until someone comes to get her and do not move from the spot they had sat her. She was placed inside as one partner kept looking out. Leaving for a fast getaway, they were head back to the camper truck, Lynette watching as two of her partners were approaching camper truck, driving away after they had both entered without Marion. Stopping to get in a rental Mercedes-Benz, they headed to a private jet. Having no issues, they were in the air on their way to Sydney, flying over the Tasman Sea. Lynette giving Sebastian a call where he can locate Marion. After the phone had 3 rings, Sebastian had received the information he had waiting for. He ran for the door as the staff watched him leaving out in such a hurry. I know where that is though, hoping she had not been waiting too long and wanting her to be in good health. Once he got to the door of the shed, he screamed Marion as he placed his hand on the latch to pull it open. Marion was unable to speak, but there she was, and Sebastian quickly uncovered her head so she would be able to talk and see him, so she would know she is safe and it is over. Sebastian, Marion said, being happy she can go home. Are you all right? Sebastian asked Marion and she replied yes. Let's go, he said to Marion. The two of them went the Ezra bed and breakfast, going to Sebastian's private suite where Marion was given a mobile phone so she can call her family while Sebastian called Detective Spencer. Episode 14. Surprise Wedding. Detective Spencer told Sebastian, once the officer arrived and take the report, you can return to Miami with Marion. Marion also had a conversation with Detective Spencer and called her partners, informing them she will be on her way home. Marion's parents contacted her brother Carlton and told him the news and passed the information along to his cousins. He was still at the Garnet Bed and Breakfast Boathouse. Lynette was on vacation, so no one would be looking for her to walk into work, and it was also the weekend. The twist: Lynette's standby is working with Detective Spencer, and the team he is working with concerning Marion has no idea. They have been waiting on Lynette to make a move, but this was not the move they have been waiting for. There will be no arrest or given out of any facts that they could do anything with. It came from the top of the FBI. Detective Spencer will keep looking into it and will be the family's contact concerning the case. All information will be given at a later date, but they don't want them to know they have been watching Lynette, and Detective Spencer will just wait on Lynette's next move, then she will be taken into custody. Austin and Camilla's wedding day was here. Austin gave Camilla a call saying to her, "Good morning, my bride." Camilla replied, "Good morning, Austin. I love you." "I love you too, and I will see you at the church." "All right," Camilla replied, and the call ended. Austin's groomsman walked in as he ended the call with Camilla. "It is time for us to get you to the church," the ring bearer for the ceremony said. One of the groomsmen took hold of Austin's tuxedo and they all left out, headed to church in a white Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe limo. Austin family arrived at the church and were being seated as he went into a room that has been set aside for the groom. Camilla's was already in a room in the church with her bridesmaids and her mother, adding the finishing touches to a satin bustier gown by putting on Camilla's wedding cathedral length tulle bridal veil with pearls, and putting on Talon 3 double pearl bow dress pumps for the ceremony. The officiant for the ceremony was delivered a note signed by the bride and groom-to-be, saying that the groom's name is Austin. Thank you. The officiant, after reading the note, also saw that their paperwork was in order and will continue. On the way back to the room where the groom was, the best man gave a look to see if Patrick's family were all in attendance, and they were. His dad and his mother, along with other family and friends on his side of the family. With the best man and his groomsmen, Austin exited the room as the music was playing. His groomsmen walked in and stood by the officiant, then bridesmaids entered and stood on the opposite side of the officiant. The groom walked in as all the guests were looking, and he walked and stood next to the officiant and his groomsmen. The music changed and a flower girl entered, tossing white and yellow roses as she walked to the front row, then having a seat next to Camilla's mother. Then the bride walked towards the officiant with her dad. Noticing the closer he and his daughter got to the officiant that it was not Patrick standing next to the groomsmen. Her dad thought to himself, "I know that is not Patrick. I can't question her right now. It will have to wait," and continued walking with his daughter. It's her wedding day. Patrick's mother wanted to sought, but his dad stopped her. "Just wait, we will find out what's happened," he said. The officiant started and everyone watched, waiting for Patrick's entrance to stop the ceremony that it's supposed to be his wedding day. Patrick never did, and Austin and Camilla were now husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Cedar, and the guests cheered in celebration of their marriage as the two of them hand in hand walked out, with tossing of rice as they were leaving the church and getting into a white Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe limo. Austin and Camilla arrived at the hotel where their wedding reception is being held, and it is also where the two of them will be staying in their honeymoon suite. Greeted by the hotel staff as the two of them entered, Mr. and Mrs. Cedar were taken to a private room waiting for their guests to arrive. After a brief moment alone, the photographer joined them, taking more photos of them after they arrived at the hotel. The wedding party and the wedding guest were all in conversation about the missing groom as they were leaving the church. Patrick's family members and his friends were calling him as soon as Camilla had driven away with her new husband. Still not saying anything about the matter, Patrick's mother and father are going to get some answers from Camilla during the wedding reception. Camilla being happy that no one had caused any issues because Patrick was not present during the wedding, had already decided before the ceremony during a conversation with Austin to tell everyone at the start of the wedding reception when the guests have been seated. All the wedding party has arrived, entering the hotel, and some of the wedding party have already been seated and are watching from their seats as the guests enter the ballroom, being seated by the staff. As the music plays, the best man will be giving Austin a call when everyone has been seated, then him and Camilla will make their entrance. Two of the bridesmaids and two of the groomsmen were near the door of private room for the bride and groom, When Austin received the call telling him that him and Camilla's escorts to the party hall should be at their door now to escort the two of them to the wedding reception. Being escorted by members of their wedding party, the doors opened and the newlyweds entered the wedding reception as the music played. Holding hands, the newlyweds walked to their table that was positioned for them to able to see all of their guests. We would like to thank you all for being here with us to celebrate our marriage, Austin said, and continued on to say that Camilla has something she also would like to say. Everyone, Patrick is married and he will contact you soon. Please enjoy yourselves and thank you for being here, Camilla said to their guest. Sebastian heard a knock on the door and allowed the officers to enter his suite. Asking to speak with Marion, she walked into the room. I will give you some privacy, Sebastian said to the three of them and walked into his bedroom. Being questioned about any details she could remember, Marion gave the officers all the information she could remember and a contact number was given to Marion, and after a few more questions the officers left and Marion locked the door behind them. Knocking on Sebastian's bedroom door, Marion said the officers have left. Sebastian opened the door. Looking at Marion, he said, "All right," and the two of them returned to the living room. What time do you want your flight home to be scheduled for? Sebastian asked, and Marion replied, I would like it to be scheduled on the jet for 2 p.m. tomorrow. Sounds good, Sebastian replied. Having a look at his wristwatch, Sebastian got up and walked over to the door, and after he opened it he rolled in the cart. It was their breakfast. Deciding to just stay in until it was time to leave out for their flight back to Miami.